Okay, hello, this is Dr. James, and today we're going to show how to change the front brakes on our 2007 Kia Optima. Okay, I guess we failed Virginia's 4 state inspections, the illegal state inspections that they have to harass you once a year on your car and try to bankrupt you by making you change things constantly. I think the rotors were pretty good, but they're going to make me replace them. And if you don't know how to work on your cars yourself, you're going to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to mechanics. So let's see what we can do. I have another video where I already did the back brakes because they were making a huge noise. Front brakes, I don't think were bad, but we're going to replace them anyway. And it's going to be cheaper for me to do it. I'm going to help you out with that. Let's get going. Okay, here we go. We got our tire here, and got our tire iron. Now this thing in front, I don't know how it is in other cars, but this is just a plastic thing, so be careful not to break it. The metal tire is actually underneath there, and we're gonna loosen up these lugs a little bit. I like to break them loose before I put the car up on the jack, because the car is not as stable when it's on the jack. So just break them loose. It'll still hold the car up. Don't take them off. Well, there's no jack under the car because the car will fall, and that would be really bad. Cars fall, people can die. So I just break them loose, and how do we do that? I like to make sure we're going the right way. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, right? Clockwise closes. So this way would tighten it. This way is going to loosen it. So let's just try to break them free a little bit. I'm going to put the camera down because I don't want to drop it. Okay, so I got these guys loosened up. Okay, and let's get the jack under lip point. There's a lip point right there, and we will jack this guy up and get this tire off of here and take a look at what's underneath. Okay, let's get going. There we go. Okay, so let's get this car jacked up here. Oh gosh. And this is how this jack system works. We'll get this wheel off, hopefully. Lots of fun here. Okay. Okay, so now I have the bolts broken free, and we got the car jacked up. And actually, make sure you put the parking brake on so the back wheels don't roll and drop the car, because you never want to drop a car. That would be extremely dangerous and kind of difficult to get it back up on the wheels again when it's sitting on the ground. If you don't kill somebody, then you're going to have a lot of problems. Maybe break something, so don't drop your car. Putting the parking brake on might help prevent the wheels from rolling back while it's on the jack. Okay. Okay, so here's our lugs. That's what they look like. We'll get all 5 of them off. Lots of fun, huh? Always love spending my Saturdays fixing cars. Anyway, I like it better than paying other people to do it. Okay, so this thing right here is a plastic wheel cover, and you want to make sure it lines up with the valve stem where you fill it. I put this on wrong before. See, there's a little notch right there. You want to make sure that that notch is lined up with this guy. And let's pull off the tire here. We'll take a look at the brakes. Okay, there's our brakes right there. Okay, so look at that. That is, I don't think those are bad at all. Maybe some grooves in them. The pads, there's still a lot of pads on there. But of course, our criminal leaders want to try to bankrupt you by forcing you to change unnecessary things constantly. I guess they said that it was rusty on the back a little bit, so let's take a look on the back. Can we see? Oh. Okay, let's take a look at it. They say I gotta change these pads because there's rust on here, but I really don't see that much rust. It's, you know, that's what happens when you give politicians too much power to abuse. Let's take a look at the back. Okay, there's my finger on the back. There's a little bit of rust on the back, but overall, and even the pads, there's a lot of pads left. Yeah, it's not really that bad. But, you know, they make money by forcing you to fix things. And most people don't understand how cars work. I'm an engineer, and I understand mechanics and electronics and all sorts of other chemistry. And they can't pull their BS with me, but most people are totally clueless. They're unable to do anything for themselves, so they just accept oh, it's for your safety? Okay. I believe you. Stealing my money and making me replace unnecessary things on my car is for my safety, I guess. Gotta believe the bureaucratic criminals. Okay, so let's get working on this, I guess. Looks like we're gonna have to use that same screwdriver that I used on the other one. Hopefully I can find that. First thing I'm gonna do is I got to probably take off the calipers, which means these things are looking really rusty. I'm going to have to get some WD-40 on that. And there's probably usually 2 bolts that hold the caliper on. So we'll take the calipers apart and see if we can fix that. Okay, I got my handy dandy friend here, WD-40. Of course, other ones work as well. It's just at the auto parts store. So let's, my friend uses silicone oil. He claimed it's the best. But this is what I have. And just some kind of penetrating oil. And I'm going to put it on all the bolts because I may have to take off this part too. These bolts hold on the whole assembly, and these bolts here hold on the calipers. And if you just want to change the brake pads, you can usually undo one of these bolts and flip it out. But since I got to change the rotors, because that's what I got dinged on in their illegal forced state inspection, I gotta do all the bolts. Take this whole thing apart, because you can't take the rotor off without taking this whole assembly off. Okay, so I'm going to put the penetrating oil on it and let it soak in for a while before I try to undo those bolts, because they look super rusted. Okay, so I think I'm going to go for this big bolt back here, because that's going to take off this whole unit so I can get to the rotors. And let's see, what do we got here? This is a 17 millimeter. Can we see that? 17 millimeters. And let's see if we can break this guy free. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm going to need some persuasion to get this loosened up. Maybe I need a hammer and hit on it. That's always good for the wrenches. It's hard to get a pry bar or tube over this. It's not got a lot of clearance in here, but we'll see. Let me work on this for a little bit. A little extra leverage never hurts. And it's, I gotta use my hammer to apply a little bit extra force on this thing. That's a mechanical advantage. Come on. Oh! Okay, well, next thing. Okay, here's some more creative ideas in case you don't have a little pipe to stick over the end of your socket wrench. Get a little bit extra torque here. Okay, I'll fiddle with this some more. Okay, make sure not to get turned around. Remember, when it's on the other side, it can be a little bit confusing which way you got to spin it. So I guess I was spinning it the wrong way. Let's try to put a little bit more torque on this thing now that I've tightened it up quite a bit. Let's see if we can twist this thing off. Okay, there's what I call a little bit of extra torque. Let's twist this thing. Come on. Come on. God. I'm going to show you how to break stuff. Oh, come on. Yeah, look at that. That's all you need is a little bit of extra torque here. And you can twist any bolt off. I got that one broken free now. Of course, I don't like to put these things in there because they're weak, these universal joints, but it's the only way I can put a long torque wrench on it, by twisting the wrench in a direction so it's not under the wheel well, right? Very cool. Okay, here we go. Let's get that bolt off of there. Okay. And we'll work on the next one. Okay, so this is the whole caliper assembly, and that is what that bolt looks like. And the other one is not really in a good spot to get to. Let me see if I can take a look where that one is. It's kind of down behind everything. In the back. Right there. See, there's the caliper. I come in behind. It's right kind of inside there. Okay. Let's see if we can get that bolt off next. Oh gosh. Okay. Put a wrench on there. And I think we're good to go. Try the same trick again. See if we can torque that off. Okay, here we go. And we got our super long torque arm here over our wrench. Okay. And let's see if we can break this one free. Come on. Oh, there we go. There it goes. Okay. Like the wrench came off, but well, maybe it didn't. No, it's still on there. We're still getting that bolt off. Okay, well, let me get that one off. I'll take off this caliper assembly. And then I think we'll be all set to start changing out the rotor and everything else. Okay, very cool. Okay, and again, it's a little bit difficult to get the camera back here. There's where the bolt is. Okay. We'll take that bolt out of there. Come on. And there's that bolt. And this whole unit hopefully should be loose now. Oh, it's kind of grabbed onto the brake, but yeah, look. It is definitely loose because it's turning with the rotor. Oh, come on, for real. I'm sure it will come off, though. Look at this. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Yep. Come on. And there we go. And there's a whole bunch of padding on the brakes. So those guys are a bunch of bastards making me replace this. And look at that, those rotors look about pristine. But that's what you get when you give too much power to criminal bureaucrats in the state that has an insatiable need to abuse its power. Okay. Okay, so now I had to go out and buy this ridiculously large screwdriver because for some reason Kia likes to hold their brakes on with giant Phillips screws, and I'm gonna have to, oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna have to spray some WD-40 on this. Both of these guys. Okay, so I guess I'll let that sit for a little bit and see if that helps the situation. Okay. Very cool. Okay, there we go. So it looks like I was able to break these screws out. And there's what they look like, giant Phillips screws. And you probably don't want to lose them because I bet you probably can't find anything like this at Home Depot or at the local hardware store. You're probably going to have to order that from a Kia dealer if you lose them. And it looks like the rotor comes right off. And look at that. Pristine rotor, lots of meat on it. They're making me replace it because why? Because they can. Because they're mobsters that make money by stealing from the American public and abusing their power. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Put this someplace in here. And should have the new rotor someplace. Let's see if I can, oh, they're under here. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at our rotors here. Oh, there they are. And it looks just like the other ones. There's only one in here? Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, God. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Well, let's get our new rotor on there. Make sure it's lined up with the screw holes properly. Okay. Oh, these things are heavy. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. Oh, come on, it's not fitting. Okay, there we go. It just needs two hands. And let's make sure our screw fits back in here. There we go. There's one. There's two. And I think we're on our way to getting this thing all fixed up. Now, I think I'm going to do is I actually have to probably take this other part of the caliper apart. So I'm going to have to put torque on this. And it's going to be hard to do that while this is flopping around. So I'll probably try to put these, oh God, back on maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Because if I put the bolts in there, I'll be able to torque it, but these brakes are really tight, so I might not be able to. Well, we'll see. We'll see what the next step's going to be. Let's make sure this is tightened up good, because I don't want our brakes to fall off while we're driving. It looks like there's only one disc in the package, so I need to buy another disc, because I need to do the other side. Okay, anyway, I've been trying to get this bolt in here and get it lined up, and it is just about impossible because you got to go through this upper layer, and then you got to get it perfectly lined up with the lower layer. And I can't tell if it's lined up or not, so I got a screwdriver to try to, something that was a little bit smaller so I can get the hole approximately in the right position. Oh, come on. Before I try to put the big bolt in it, which has got a very low tolerance. And we'll see if we can get this lined up by using something smaller to go in that hole. Okay. Okay, after fiddling with this for about a half an hour, moving this thing up and down and sliding that bolt around, I finally got this thing lined up. Unbelievable. Let me get the other one in there, hopefully, and we will call this a day. Okay, I guess I changed my mind. The only thing they dinged me on in the so-called safety inspection, their phony safety inspection, was the rotor. And the rotors were perfectly good, and the brake pads are perfectly good. There's a lot of meat on those things, and it's a pain to take those apart and put them back on. So I think I'll just leave the old brake pads on there and just change the rotor and get it to pass this stupid phony state inspection bullshit, and get the car running again, because I got lots of other things to do. So anyway, hopefully this helps you out. I can make a link to my other video, which changing the brake pads, I changed it on the back tires, and it should be exactly the same. Anyway, this is Dr. Janes, and thanks for watching.